Welcome to IIM Bangalore. We are doing the 11th of our 12 seminars under the banner Innovative Karnataka Seminar Series. This is a seminar series that we're doing in partnership with the Department of Planning, Program Monitoring and Statistics. The goal of the seminar series is to look at a range of innovative practices across a number of departments in the government and try and understand what makes innovation happen. As a part of this work, we've been inviting speakers who have been involved with the innovation on the government side to discuss with us the contours of the innovative scheme, the program, challenges that may have come about. The seminar series begins every day with people from government speaking first, and this is followed by subject matter experts who react to the government speakers to give a sense of the subject, how exactly things have been innovative, and we close with a discussion which is open to everyone in the room. So welcome again, and let me begin right off by introducing the speakers for the day. The first person we have is Molshi ma'am. She will go first. She is the CEO of the ICT Skills Development Society at the Department of IT and Biotechnology as a part of the Government of Karnataka. Following her shortly would be Mr. Ashraful Hassan, who is the Director for the Karnataka Vocational Training and Skills Development, and will be discussing activities there. This would be followed by Mr. Basavaraju, who is a development professional close to, based out of Mysore and has traveled the furthest, so thank you very much for coming. He's a researcher having diversified experience in implementing projects for the government, for the non-profit organizations, particularly in the skills and livelihood space. This would be followed by Mr. L. Krishnan. Mr. L. Krishnan was the past chairman of CII, and currently he is the managing director for Tagu Tech and has very obvious links to the sector. Finally, Professor Nayantara is going to be rounding up the entire discussion. Professor Nayantara is a professor with IIM Bangalore and has been engaged with the livelihoods from the education to employment space. And then we open the floor up.
Ashraf sir gave a wonderful presentation about what government is doing that made my job off done actually. So with that, probably I'll start with a small story. We are bored with probably presentations. It is 2007-8. I was working for a child labor eradication program. That is a pilot program implemented in Karnataka by International Labour Organization. I was part of ILO implementing that program at the very grassroots level in Rajashekarmurthy district. One of the objectives of the program was also to address economic exploitation of adolescents. That is, we believe that child labour is because of economical issues mainly at that point of time. Now I disagree with that. Because in order to provide that economical assistance to the family, the elder siblings should be trained. So somehow with lot of passion, I negotiated a deal with L&T Infrastructure, and they said, yes, you give me any number of people, we will train them, not only train them, we will employ them. And at that point of time, 5,000 rupees was the stipend, accommodation was given in Bangalore, and they had to take care of their food. And after the 3 months training program, they were assured of an 8,000 rupees job at that point of time. I was very happy. Then I negotiated my first deal wonderfully and mobilized people from different villages of Chamarajanagar and put them in the training program. 2 days later, I got a call from L&T general manager. All your trainees have run away. Then it was a difficult thing. So I sent my people to the field, and I also went there, tried to understand what was the issue, because it's matter of concern. We'll lose our credibility in the community. If that happens, once that message spreads, the organization lose credibility, I lose credibility in the community, and nobody will come to me subsequently. Then they said, sir, they asked us to clean the campus. That is the reason we did not like, they did not treat us properly. They asked me to clean the campus, and that is the reason I came out. And when I asked with L&T, they said, no, we just advise them to keep their room clean. I don't explain. If you can run an analysis, you will understand what is the issue at the grassroots. You may call it as, there's an issue, as Ashraf sir said, their non-interest to migrate from their community could be one. The issue of dignity of labor could be another. The third thing is they want everything on their doorstep, and they don't want training, they want job. Many things. If you go on analyzing, you will find many reasons. This is the issue in front of us today. It was in 2007. I'm still working in the field. I still go talk to people, talk to youth, one-to-one, not through my people, directly, still the issue. Couple of days, months back, I was in Thandavpura. It's an industrial area in Mysore. And people rightfully questioned me. I didn't have an answer. Sir, why are you asking us to go out of this village and get the training program and get settled somewhere? I have all the multinational companies coming to my place, opening up their shop, giving employment to the youth from across the country, and you are asking me to take a training program, explore opportunity elsewhere. Why should I? I didn't have answer, honestly. And I'll tell the third story, probably then I'll move to my slides. 2 years ago, I was in a temple with my wife, and one guy came and literally fell down to my feet, and I was really surprised and probably clueless what is happening. And I'm not aged guy, I'm not such a cute person, why somebody is doing this. Then he said, sir, remember 5 years back, I was a person from, like I'm from Bijapur district, Sindagi Taluk. My name is so and so, and I got training program at our institution, because at that time we were running a program called Youth for Development. Taking SSLC failed, particularly one of the major criteria was they should have failed in the SSLC examination. SSLC failed, given 3 months solid foundation course, not to skill them, not to give them a skill program, but to give them aspirations, to give their commitment, to give them that I should do something for the country. I should be a developmental catalyst. And then subsequently, in order to take care of their livelihood also, we introduced a component of skill development program. And that guy who was clueless, 10th failed, somewhere in Sindagi Taluk of Bijapur, now takes care of the entire page of a local leading newspaper called Andolana. That is the power of skill development, and you have the story both the sides. Having said that, I'll probably quickly take you through my presentation. It covers, briefly gives you skill ecosystem in Karnataka, where are we now, and looking ahead. Probably my thoughts to take forward the journey, and I cannot say it is completely my thoughts, no, which were my thoughts now in the government document. Most of these documents already, you may find it in the vision document of Karnataka Vision 2025. So I had a privilege to work with sir and others and write a vision for the state. You know all this story. We are the knowledge hub, we are the Silicon Valley, and we have the fourth best technology hub in the world, etc. We have 6.11 crore population, 2.4 crore have registered as workers in the state. And agriculture and allied sectors account for nearly 56% of the total workforce even today. We were discussing about a lot of rural to urban migration, but I still have 56% of the people working in agriculture sector even today. And some of the non-agriculture sectors are these things. And Karnataka in that way are proactive. We came out of our policy much ahead than Government of India skill development policy. Karnataka started a department exclusively called Karnataka Vocational Training and Skill Development Corporation. It's a corporation under the Employment Training Department. And now, as sir said, it is 2016, we have an exclusive department to take care of the skill development program. Although we had a very good policy, it was very progressive policy. Like any other policy, it also had some of the limitation. I don't say it was completely a foolproof policy, but still it was a very progressive policy. But the implementation was utterly failed. If you go through the economic survey, last 10 years data, it will show. I don't have to explain. It says because it was too much dependency on one institution, that is KVS TDC, and there was no other supportive mechanism established to take care of these needs. What we understood is a robust multi-tier efficient implementation mechanism is the key in order to reach the goal. And don't we have enough infrastructure? We do have a good infrastructure. We have around 1,700 plus ITIs in this state, around 290 polytechnics with accommodation capacity of 75,000 students, but enrollment is 80%. One hand we say we need to have more and more institutions created. Presently we have institutions which are underpopulated. So 80% enrollment in polytechnics, around 68% or 69% enrollment in when it comes to ITIs. Enrollment capacity and actual enrollment gap is there. This gap is not wide when it comes to a regular graduation course. Normally we say when you do a regular graduation you may not get a good employment opportunity, but there are good number of takers for the regular graduation course. It is considerable in BA, BTech, BA Architect and paramedical and health related courses also there is a gap. And this is the benchmarking of Karnataka situation with other state and country. So our unemployment rate is much lower than neighboring or comparable states and country. Our literacy rate are good, but lesser than probably comparable state Maharashtra. And primary sector employment rate we are the highest actually. 56% of the people work in agriculture sector, and 27% in manufacturing and 17% in service sector. When you compare actually, what I want to highlight is, so Maharashtra has got 34% of the people working in the manufacturing sector, and the service sector is almost same there actually. So one probably inference we can draw is we need to skill our people more. Service sector, the skill development is not really a challenge because your retail, your coffee days, there are more malls to employ people, but the attrition rate is also high in those kind of courses. So what a state should do, we really need to think. Don't we have an opportunity? Yes, we do have a lot of opportunity. NSDC says there is an incremental demand for workforce in Karnataka during the period of 2012 to 2022, that is nearly 84.76 lakh they need. That is 27% minimally skilled, 43% are semi-skilled, and 25% are skilled, and 5% are highly skilled. They need this many people. And if we don't gear up, if we don't invest in skill development, we will have a deficit 7.12 lakh skilled and 3.88 lakh highly skilled people by 22 if appropriate measures are not taken. So we are going to have a deficit skilled manpower in our country. So what are the opportunities? There is a good economical opportunity. Our GSDP is growing at the current rate of 6.2%. But the problem is, even today 49% of the workers in agriculture contribute only 12% to the GSDP. That means, forget, I am not wearing the hat of rural development professional or a agriculture professional. As a skill development professional, we expect that if people move from the primary sector to secondary and tertiary sector, there is a good opportunity for the economy. There may be other migration, etc., other issues which may be debated subsequently, but in order to achieve an economic growth to the country, we need a transition from the primary sector to secondary and tertiary sector. All of us who have gone through courses in economics have repeatedly read that agriculture sector we have an underemployment problem. We have in Karnataka, we have more of marginal farmers, and there will be more than one people working on 1 acre of land or 2 acre of land. That is an underemployment. There is no absolute unemployment. There is a lot of underemployment in the primary sector. That's something we need to take it to the consideration. Some of the lessons learned. So we need to keep learning the lessons from our mistakes. What lessons we learned? Short-term training not yielded desired outcomes. That is proved. and substantial and sustained investment on skill development is required to make it institutional. So, we need to have, we should, I think going forward 5 years down the line, we should not hear something called 3 months training program, 2 months training program, 6 months training program. That is where there is a huge opportunity for, as sir coined the term or said the term fly by night operators or some faltu agencies to say I will train people in lakhs, 2 months, 3 months, something that India need to consider or Karnataka need to consider, something like Germany and other countries you will find long term training programs. And mechanisms for the identifying training providers, standardization and certification of curricula, monitoring, capacity development should be institutionalized and functioning. I think the state also need to consider hiring other professional agencies for development of curriculum, accreditation and other things. We know state has got under resources in terms of human resources. So, that is where the state can bridge this gap, because it is going to be a small term requirement. The short term skill training program is going to be here for probably 6 to 7 years from now. Subsequently, it should transit towards the long term training program. We need to have a lot of other agencies engaged in the process next 5 to 6 years to bridge this gap. And we still have participation of the marginalized groups such as women, persons with disability, minorities and SC/STs categories are less. We say government is doing all these things to reach out to them at the large scale, but their participation when it comes to skill development is still less, but their participation in labor force is high. The participation of the marginalized communities in the labor force is high, that means they are working more unskilled, that is they are more in unorganized sector compared to the others who are less in workforce but more in organized sector. Probably you can draw an inference like that. Looking ahead, as per our estimate, it is a department's estimation, I was part of estimating that Karnataka need to train around 1.88 lakh persons by 2030. 188 lakhs. Yeah. So, and there is two categories. One is stock, which is already there in the labor like untrained people who are already in the labor force. Another thing is flow, who constantly keep coming to the labor market. So, we need to tackle both the issues. And these are all the key goals Karnataka should have. One is we need to increase the employment opportunity. Currently, the labor force participation rate is 56%, it can go up to 60%, and unemployment rate can come down from 1.4 to 1%. These are all the goals we can keep for the state's growth actually. And we need to increase skilled labor force. Currently, we have only 14% of the people who are in the labor market with skill. It should be up to 50% by 2025. That should be the aspiration. And improving women participation in the workforce, that is one of the major requirement. Economists may call it as backward building support curve phenomena, wherein when economy grows and somebody in the family opt out from the job to support the family or probably to take care of the family issues, and unfortunately in our country it is invariably women. So, that is making the women labor force, the women participation in the labor force, especially in the urban area, coming down drastically with an increasing economic growth, and same is the case in the rural areas also. In order to have a balanced situation, so you need to have an increased women participation in the workforce, increased investment in the skill development and employment, at least 0.5% of the GDP in the budget of the Government of Karnataka should be invested, need not be only from the government sources, it can be pooled in from the different sources as well. So, increasing number of creating market opportunity for traditional and artisans, that is inherited skills, that is something which requires to happen. That is where a lot of our questions who feel for migrations from rural to urban and all those things, and preserving the inherited skills and artisanic skills. So, that should happen actually, and increasing number of apprenticeship opportunity, that is the way to go actually. We have a very weak apprenticeship program in the state. Right now, only around 25,000 apprentices are there against probably around 3.5 lakh opportunity. It should move towards 3.5 lakh per annum, and target is to reach 21.5 lakh by 2025. So we have opportunity. It's not that we don't have an opportunity, but somewhere state need to take that measures to ensure that we'll have create more and more apprentice opportunity. And inclusive skill development system for training person with disability, making at least 4 trades inclusive in the ITS polytechnic situated in the district headquarter. I think that is something I personally feel we should focus on, providing equal opportunities for the people with disabilities as well, and strengthen governance and implementation mechanism at the district and sub-district level. These are the goals we can keep. So we have coined something called Pancha Sutra for skill development. If we do these 5 things, which should solve at least most of the problems in the skill development sector. What are those? One is strengthening formal vocational training system with an industry oriented, future ready and vibrant curriculum. There should be an increased participation from the industry in the curriculum development, in the participation in the training department when it comes to the institutional courses. What is other sutra? That is universalized career guidance and placement services, which is not only the people, students like IIM and other B schools should get a placement and career guidance support, but people in the rural area, at least there should be one career guidance and placement support, the taluk level should be available. That is where that is lacking. Probably that could have answered my first problem. The first case what I narrated could have solved that problem. And revitalizing school education curriculum to make students employable. Many a times we hear that our graduates so much percent are unable to be employed, cannot be employed, they should not be employed, all those slogans from the industry leaders. But government should do something to make the existing students who are in the graduate schools, they are in large numbers, to make them employable. We need to work in that system. Strengthening apprenticeship system is another major thing, and universal financial inclusion. That doesn't mean giving only microfinance to the SHGs out there. Universalized financial inclusion and secured productive asset creation for the poor. There are a lot of models, nothing new, a lot of models available. We need to move more towards that, because we heard from Mr. Ashraful in the earlier slide that 84% of the people don't want to come out of their places. That is true. I am not completely subscribing to that thought, but there are situations like that. We need to have some measures taken to reach out livelihood opportunities to them. So when it comes to financial inclusion, means there should be an appropriate financial support, loan facilities should be reaching them. There should be a career livelihood facilitation measures should be taken. And this is what NSDC estimates. Like, these are all the top 10 sectors which has got 6-digit increase in terms of employment opportunities in Karnataka. Similarly, additional 8, it is growing in a fast pace, but it has got little lesser than what the about top 10 lists. And we all know we are in the era of information technology disruption, wherein some of the jobs today are irrelevant tomorrow. We don't know. So there are some emerging sectors which state should get geared up, should take enough measures to address those things. Advanced manufacturing and 3D painting is something emerging globally. Advanced robotics and autonomous transport is another area. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is another upcoming area, and advanced materials, biotechnology and genomics are another emerging trends in the sector. When it comes to specific focus within the sector is, I think we should focus towards green construction. Come what may, the reality sector is the need, because more and more habitations are shelters to be created, and that is the sector where you find more number of people. But we need to translate that into a green construction through sustainable technology. That is in order to meet the sustainable development goals also. You can still have those sectors, but the focus within the sector is these things: green construction, water and sanitation and hygiene is another important sector which normally get doesn't get reflected in the larger reports, but basically when it comes to conservation of water, harvesting, management. So we talk about rainwater harvesting, but where are the professionals? And the professional come and say the rates, and we will give up the rainwater harvesting idea. So that is the scenario, because there's a lack of skilled human resources in those sectors, how to reuse the water. Those sectors are there, and waste management is the issue. So we need professionals there. And renewable energy sector, that is something important. Hospitality, home nursing, geriatric care, those are all the sectors which are in need actually. Handlooms and handicrafts, and sustainable agriculture and allied sectors. What are some of the innovative initiatives a state can probably consider to implement? Is one is the strengthened employment exchange. Employment exchange not only focus on skilling and employing, basically they should also focus on creating more entrepreneurs, providing livelihood opportunities at the district level, and skill upgradation, finishing school under the center of excellence, that employment exchange should happen. And sectors like furnitures and furnishing, handicrafts, carpentry, and all these things, they have got the skilled people there. How can you say somebody, a plumber is unskilled person? They are skilled, but only thing is somebody have not recognized them, that they are skilled. That is the problem right now in our country. We find a lot of skilled people, but on the records, as per the records, they are not skilled. So recognition of prior learning is very vital and important. We need to have a short courses for them, consider their learning already which they have, and give them a finishing school kind of a training program, and recognize their learning already, give them a skill ranking, like what rank there they are. So that's something important. The Kaushalya Bandi is another thing, the skill on wheels program. The aspiration and inspiration is the problem right now. If I go to a village, they say I'm not interested, sir, because look at this guy, he is ITI diploma, he is not employed. Why should I go and do a training program, skill training program? That aspiration is going, and they're considering, okay, even I get skilled, what I'll get? I may get 8,000 rupees to begin with. The minimum wages is something around 9,000 I think right now. So nobody can pay lesser than 9,000 rupees. I may get 9,000 rupees. But why should I go? My wages at NREGI are 275, 280 rupees, 300 rupees nearly in my village. They compare. Now the NREGA has become a benchmark. Okay, I get so much wages in my village, why should I go and work? But they are not understanding that 8,000 is for next 1 year. And they are going to get, as they get more skilled while doing that job, they'll have a diversified, much bigger opportunity, which they can prosper in their career. That's something lacking, and that aspirations are lacking right now. Nobody is there for them as a role model to build these aspirations. And Kaushalya Bandi is something, because we don't have so many people to go and inspire, motivate people there. So it's one such initiative can go to the difficult terrains of the district, reach out the different opportunities, because today, even today, if you go to talk to our children, they cannot name more than 5 skills. Even naming 5 skills is very difficult. When I was working at those time, if I talk to any girls, invariably they would say tailoring, and probably some toy making, soft toy making. When I go to talk to a minority community girls, Jardoshi or something else. But when it comes to guys, it is invariably driving, and if they have learned something, computer. What in computer, don't know. But these are all the general, very standard answers they used to give. But there are varieties of skill development opportunities. Who would tell them? What orientation they would have? So this is one such initiative, can reach out to them and build aspirations and inspiration. And state-of-art skill development training facilities, which is geographically appropriately situated in Karnataka. Say for example, Mangalore, we have a marine engineering and something related to that. In Dharwad, we have an automobile state-of-art center of excellence there, trade excellence there, so that it is exclusively initiated, which will work as a human development advancement center for the existing ITI diploma faculties, besides taking care of some of these innovations and implementation of the special courses, in order to be in line with the upcoming emerging sectors. That 6 trade excellence state-of-art skill development training centers so can be established. And utilizing the infrastructure of the existing polytechnics. So we may not be able to master or create an excellence in every trade and every skill. At least one trade of excellence can be created in existing diploma courses. If I go to Mysore, I should get an ESDM specialized faculties and specialized lab. If I come to Bangalore, I should get a robotics specialized lab. Dharwad, automobile. Let there be other courses, because we cannot expect state to make all the 30 trades invested appropriately, have a state of art advanced machineries right now, but at least develop one. That means with that we'll have 30 state of art polytechnic trades, 30 trades in our Karnataka. So if you can opt different to go to different places also, that is another thing. And green skill initiative is, as I already said, sustainable agriculture, green building, etc. And this is something, of course, the words are little native. So Negila Yogi, Asiru Gurukula, it is basically, as we know, farmers are the most distressed community right now. And if they go to the bank, unless government backs them up, they don't get a loan. And if they don't pay it appropriately, then there'll be an issue. And do you think the farmers are unskilled people? Can I and you go and plow the land? Most skilled. But they are not considered most skilled. But are their skills are recognized? Can I go and say I am the class 1 farmer and madam is the class 2 farmer? Like contractors say, I am a class 1 contractor, I am a class 2 contractor. Accordingly, you will get a recognition, respect, loans, credits, financial inclusions, etc., etc., all other benefits in the market. Why can't we have that kind of skill benchmarking for the farmers? For that, recognition of their learning, the prior learning is the key first, subsequently to give them other additional program. Why don't we have a diploma in agriculture programs? So we have all other programs. Similarly, the diploma in agriculture programs probably can be introduced, and that is important thing. And design KSQF is something important which government is already taking care. And we need to constitute advanced and emerging skill task force in order to identify the levels of skills. We all speak about this robotics, genomics, etc., etc. But whether it is going to be a highly skilled job, opportunity for only highly skilled people, or there is an opportunity for semi-skilled jobs or moderately and minimally skilled jobs, we don't know. Somebody need to map out what are those requirements actually, what opportunity. Similar, accordingly you can create courses. Otherwise, again we are going to miss the bus. So that is something the state has required to create and constitute a joint vocational educational training task force. VET is the way to go, as we all know. Somewhere vocational education should be integrated in the education system. A class 6th, 7th, 8th should have some vocational skills. It was there. It's not that it's completely new in our system. It was there somewhere, we forgot that to continue. And again we are talking the same language, and we are appreciating China's model that they have a compulsory 6 years vocational education training program. So we can surely introduce that, but how to do it? Because education department, employment and skill department and science and technology department should talk the same language. So need to create a joint vocational education and training task force in order to ensure this. And language for livelihood is another major thing. So my expectation is there should be a language training facility available in the taluk level. Not only English, in each taluk there should be at least one other foreign languages. Our children who are in BA, BCom, BSc should be able to get their language skills better. But right now there is no opportunity. If somebody wants to learn French, they need to come somewhere, Alliance Francaise, somewhere, some other centers. But why can't? And as we know, India can become a Karnataka can become a back office for the world if we develop our language abilities, and we don't have to move out from our blocks. We can still do all these things being in the block level, probably establish village BPOs, something else at the village level, do this. But language is the key, and that is the major limitations right now in the children who are in the graduation level. And livelihood facilitation center at the cluster level is important, because there are a lot of women who need to be engaged in the agriculture activity, but they are also not fully engaged in the agriculture activity. So this center is required to ensure convergence, impart entrepreneurship development program, provide them financial inclusion opportunities. Even today, our women will not get a complete welcome and credit linkages by the banks. They still have to make 4 to 5 to 6 trips to get a small loans from the banks. But there need to be a center which provides them a financial inclusion facilities. Capacity building, you should continuously, capacity building is not one day job, not imparting a 3 hours program to the women and say you are capacitated. So need to have a continuous capacitation, and marketing is the major lacuna. Women can produce a wonderful products. Right now I am leading another innovations called Health Enrich, a ragi based product in remotest area of Mysore, the ragi based product. They manufacture wonderful products, very tasty products, but marketing is a challenge. So that is where the support system is required, that is where the support system is not present right now. And skill summits is something is very much important to bridge the gap between the people in academia and people in the practice, the industry. So normally we keep saying this, they don't talk to each other, they don't learn from each other, there's no exchange of thoughts and ideas. The skill summits at the district level so should happen, industry summits, regional level sector summit and state level sector summit to bridge the gap between industry and academia, so that the exchange of thoughts can happen, the apprenticeship can increase, and all those things can be planned. And measures for imparting PPP mode is the way to go, need a lot of investment. Again, as I said, this is some 4 to 5 years requirement. And we need, again, government is doing the centralized database of the trained people, and foundation course is the key. As I said initially, if we give the good foundation course and give them the enough reasons why should you invest next 1 year in getting yourself skilled. If you give them, convince them with those reasons, probably then the attrition rate will be less and they will pursue it importantly, with much more seriousness. And utilizing self-help groups as an orientation and mobilization platform. We have an advantage. Karnataka is a pioneering state when it comes to SHGs. We need to capitalize. We need to use them as a platform to reach out to the larger community. And information center at the village panchayats wherever exist. Right now, there are some of information centers would be equipped with ICT, should be required. And a bi-monthly skill development and employment kiosk should be set up at the village level to provide all the information linkages. Right now, there is a problem. Why they have lack confidence or lack trust? Because during the enrollment time, many people will come and enroll them, but after that, nobody. Even that company trained will not be there, and the government officers they wouldn't even see. But at least there is a guaranteed kiosk in every village level that will solve the issue. Apprenticeship is the, again as I said, I will emphasize on this fact, it is the way to go, and encourage private industry and sector with proper incentives to create industries in the rural areas, in garment making, food processing probably, packaging, etc., to create more jobs and support primary sector. It should be linked in such a way that you will encourage them to establish an urban periphery, so that people from the rural area should be able to travel and work. It is linked to the local primary sector jobs. Thank you.